Hey there, welcome back to Excellence in Manufacturing. Let me ask you something. Have you ever faced a problem at work that felt like it had too many moving parts to figure out? Or maybe you've tried to organize a project or a big chunk of data and just couldn't make sense of it all. What if I told you there's a simple way to cut through the noise and make sense of that mess and get to the heart of the issue quickly? Today, we're going to talk about a tool that can help you do just that. It's called the MECE Principle, mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. It might sound like a mouthful, but stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll see how it can make a huge difference in how you tackle problems and organize information. So whether you're in manufacturing, management, or just love problem solving, this is something you'll want in your toolkit. So what exactly is MECE? In a nutshell, the MECE Principle is a way of organizing information so that everything fits into one category with no overlaps and every possible option is covered. Think of it like organizing your tools in the garage. Every tool has its own spot and there's a place for everything. No stray wrenches or missing screwdrivers. Let's start with the first part, mutually exclusive. This means that each item or piece of information can only belong to one category and no overlaps are allowed. Imagine you're sorting your inventory by type. All the bolts go in one bin, all the screws in another, and all the nuts in yet another. A bolt can only be in the bolt bin, not in screw or nut bin at the same time. That's mutually exclusive. Everything is in its place with no mix-up. Now let's talk about collectively exhaustive. This is about making sure you haven't missed anything. Using our inventory example, if you've got bins for bolts, screws, and nuts, but forgot to include washers, then your system isn't collectively exhaustive. You need to make sure every type of hardware has a place, so nothing gets left out. Let's say you're organizing your hardware store's inventory. You could categorize items like this: bolts, screws, nuts, washers, nails. Each item type can only go in one category and no overlaps and no clubbing together. These categories cover all the different items you sell. That's MECE in action, and it makes managing your inventory so much easier. Now let's look at another example, but this time from a manufacturing Kaizen point of view. Suppose you're working on a Kaizen project to reduce waste in your production process. You're facing a complex problem and you want to break down the information so that it's mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Here's how you could approach it. You break down all the waste into different categories. For instance, material waste, time waste. For instance, are there delays or downtime in the production line that could be minimized? Is there energy waste? Is there unnecessary energy consumption, such as machines running when they're not supposed to? Is there labor waste? Are there workers spending time on non-value added activities that could be streamlined? Each of these categories addresses a different type of waste, and together they cover all possible sources of waste in production process. This is a MECE approach because you're ensuring that each type of waste is dealt with separately, mutually exclusive, and you're covering all the potential areas where waste could occur, collectively exhaustive. Let's say after breaking down these categories, you identify that most of the waste is coming from excess offcuts of the material. A possible countermeasure could be implementing more precise cutting tools or optimizing the cutting process. By focusing on this specific area, you can make a significant impact on reducing waste and improving efficiency. So why is this important? Well, whether you're troubleshooting a problem, planning a project, or just trying to get a clearer picture of what's really going on, the MECE principle helps you see everything clearly. It cuts through the noise, making sure you're not duplicating efforts or missing something critical. Now you might be wondering, where did this concept come from? So MECE was actually popularized by the global consulting firm McKinsey & Company. It's been a key part of their problem-solving toolkit for decades. The idea itself was first articulated by Barbara Minto, who was a McKinsey consultant in the 1960s. She developed what's known as the Minto Pyramid Principle, which is all about structured thinking and clear communication. MECE is a core part of that approach and has been used ever since to help consultants and business leaders tackle complex problems efficiently. Let's see how you can use MECE in real world scenarios. Say you're trying to figure out why a particular production line is underperforming. You could break down the problem using MECE into different categories. For instance, for equipment, are the machines in need of maintenance or upgrades? You could look at it from process perspective. Are there inefficiencies or bottlenecks in the workflow? Labor, is the team properly trained or are there staffing issues? Or even material, are there delays or shortages in the supply chain? Each of these categories is distinct, and together they cover all the potential reasons for the underperformance. This way, you can systematically identify and address the root cause without overlooking anything. But MECE isn't just for solving problems. It's also a great planning tool. Imagine you're launching a new product. You might use MECE to think through things. Market, who are your target customers? Product, how does it differentiate from your competition? Or distribution, how will you get into customers' hands? Maybe finance, what are the costs and expected revenues? By structuring your plan this way, you make sure you're covering all the critical aspects. And before the launch, you're leading to a smoother rollout and fewer surprises. I know it's a bit nerdy, sure, but more you practice thinking this way, the easier it gets. And soon you'll be applying MECE without even thinking about it. All right, that's MECE in a nutshell. It's a simple but powerful tool that can really help you think more clearly and make better decisions. So whether you're organizing your inventory, solving a production issue, or just planning your weekend, give it a try and see how it works for you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Excellence in Manufacturing and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you got any questions, you want to share how you use your MECE in your own work, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep improving.